Happy Mother's Day, cousins. Be sure you see my very, very nice Mother's Day video I did of my favorite moms in the Bible. But of course, we cannot let Mother's Day go by and not talk about the toxic mamas, because some of us, me included, have toxic mothers. But you know what's worse? Toxic Christian mamas. Oh, they are the worst, honey. They are the worst. And of course, I forgot to wear my t-shirt this one. Hey, cousin. Go on janicehylton mentoring to get your hey, cousin t-shirt. We have to talk about toxic mothers. So if you know me, if you followed me for any length of time, you know I got toxic mama, honey. And I wrote it all in my first book, Praying for Our Children, which I am doing a reprinting on. I have to get Dayton for Data is out for you, and I have to get the reprint of Print for Our Children out to you. I need to get it done this year. My mama's toxic. My mother is so toxic that when I was 28, I confronted her about some things, and she came to visit. I hadn't seen her for years, and she came over here to visit, and I confronted her, and my mother was in total denial. Total denial, okay? It was so bad that I could have hurt my mother. Like, that's how bad it was. It was so bad. Woo! It was so bad. I was scared. I scared myself, y'all. She said something to me, and I was saying, "What did you say? What did you say to me?" And I was going to her like this. She was sitting on the floor, and I was going to her like this. I kid you not. I kid you not. It was like Holy Spirit grabbed me right here, turned me around, brought me, led me in Alexia's room, where I closed the door and put a chair behind the door. That's how angry I was and scared, because I was like, I could have hurt my mother. I could have her, and I would have been in jail. And poor Lexi would have been, God knows where Lexi was. And after that incident, she left my home. She went somewhere else. And my mother did not talk to me for 5 years. She Christian, though. My mama. Saved, shouting every Sunday at the church. Okay. And I would call, talk to her. And we did go to counseling. I did ask her if she would go to counseling. We went to counseling. I paid $150 because it was a Christian pastor counseling, and they didn't take insurance. And this was my mother, her face in the sky. $150. Do you know how much $150 was years ago? That's a lot of money. And she left. She didn't talk to me for 5 years. I would call, I would send money, because of course my brothers were in school and I was helping to put them through school, and she didn't talk to me. You know when my mother called me and talked to me? When her father died and her older sister spent all the money that my grandfather had left for him to be buried, and they had no money to bury my grandfather. And you know who she called? Me. And I said, "Oh, sure, mommy. How much? How much?" Sent it. She didn't talk to me after that. The following year, I was getting married, and I invited her to my wedding. Ooh, that was hard. Ooh, it was hard, but girl, that me inviting my mother to my wedding. I knew I was saved. I knew it. I was like, I'm saved. I knew it. I knew I was saved, because I was like, invite you to the happiest day of my life. I knew it. I said, it's my mother. At the end of the day, that's my mother. What the Bible say? Honor your mother and your father. It doesn't mean, as an adult, it doesn't mean listen to them and do what they tell you to do. It means to take care of them. So I take care of my mom. And for years, I beg and plead and talk, and and she wouldn't budge. And then she would do stuff to upset me. Like I would send money from my mom, and she have money, but she would call me and say, "Oh, the kids need this for school," but she wouldn't use the money that she has to buy what my brothers and my nephews need. It just, oh my God. I said, "Mommy, you have money. Buy what they need, pay for what they need, and then message me and say, Janice, I paid for this school for the kids." She would do it every time until my husband sat me down and talked to me and said, just don't, what's the word he used? Don't engage. Don't engage. So from now on, I need, how much? And then it takes a whole hour. She go through all this, that. Mommy, how much? Oh, you need $1,000. Okay, I will send Mike to the store to send it tomorrow. And so I finally, you know what freed me from my mom? Because it's my mom. I want to have this great, grand relationship with my mom. But in order for us to have those relationships, she's going to have to take accountability for some things. And so you can't be in denial. We cannot have this grand relationship and you're in denial. Okay? And there's proof. There's not documentation, but there's proof of what I'm saying. There's proof. Okay. And so, you know what freed me? I'm going to be sharing some clips. And of course, we got to talk about Joni Lamb, toxic. So, you know what freed me? I was praying one day about my mom, and the Holy Spirit said, "But I've blessed you with moms." And the light came on. It's like light came on that God has always, it's amazing. I didn't see it before. God has always surrounded me with women, mothers. My cattle, my aunt that took me in when I ran away from home, long story, read the book, had Lexi. When I was homeless, my cattle took me, and then I started school. My Waters, my godmother, who died at 99 years old. And then at the job, Sister Rosemary, how could I forget Sister Rose, Deaconess Grace. Oh, from the first day I went to church, Deaconess Grace loved me and Alexia. Miss Linda at the job, Miss Rudy, her name is Rudy, just surrounded me with women, and that I wasn't seeing them because I was so focused on my biological mother. And so my heart is clean and pure towards my mom. And I knew that because I wouldn't be sending her money. Okay. If those of you from the Caribbean, we know what we have to do. It's a part of what we do. We have to take care of family members. Okay. Let me tell you how toxic my mama is, right? So a few years ago, my mom was traveling. So she comes here ever so often. And she was going to California. And she said, "Hey, I'm going to California. Can you buy my ticket?" Sure. So she was supposed to go July. Then I bought the ticket for July. Then, I'm not going July. I'm going September. I was like, sure. So I had to, you have to pay money to to change the ticket. Fine, change the ticket. But I didn't get my mom coach. I got right after first class, that's business class, right? I got her a ticket in business class because this is what my mother would say when me and her get into something. This is what she would say. "Oh, and me ask you to buy plane ticket and a coach ticket you buy me. Me couldn't even stretch out my leg them. Me leg them did crunch up. And me have to fly 6 hours or however long it takes to get to California. I think from Jamaica to Georgia and then Georgia. So you know what I do? Everything for my mom, I get her the best. Because I know she's gonna come back and say I bought her coach tickets. As if what matters is you not getting to your destination. She messaged me earlier this year and she says, "You don't even call me." And I'm like, "For what, mommy? Do you need something? You need me to send you some money?" Because that's where we are. That's where it is. There is no, oh, sitting on the phone and talk. We didn't have the thing with my mom and I, we didn't have that relationship. And that relationship wasn't developed later in life. So there we don't have anything. Ever so, oh hey, and I don't talk to my mom on the phone because she's gonna say something that's gonna upset me. So I realized that. So now I just talk to her on social media. Ever so often, hey mom, how's everything? How's the boys? Because I have 3 brothers and 3 nephews that I'm still helping with. Okay. So I talk to her. The only time I talk to her on the phone is if she's telling me something that I don't understand what she's saying. And I call, mommy, I don't understand. What are you saying? Okay. Okay. That's it. The hurricane happened last year. I paid people to go visit to make sure, is she okay? Because I couldn't get in contact with her. Hey, I paid a lot of money. 3 people I paid money to go check on her to make sure. And my brothers are there, make sure she's okay. So it's taken me in my late 40s to know how to deal with my mom. Okay. Last week or the week before, I messaged her. I said, hey, how's things going? Did you hear from my brother, my grown behind, almost 40-year-old brother who took up himself, went to another country, didn't tell her, didn't tell me, but is messaging me because he's in a bind and he need all this money. Oh, he's in trouble. He need this. I say, okay. Mike wasn't here to go to I was about to say Red Lobster, to go to where we send the money, because my husband goes and he send it and it's $10. So I said, okay, I'll send it on my credit card. And I don't have to tell you how much fees that is, okay? But I sent it. I sent the money anyways, okay? And so this time hey, mom, how's everything going? How's so and so? Oh, he's still trying to get his paperwork, blah, blah, blah. Oh, and I went to the doctor. I said, did your insurance pay for it? Because I already know where the compensation is going. Did your insurance pay for it? No, I had to pay out a pocket for mammogram and pap smear. I said, okay. How much? Okay, was it okay? I'm gonna send it. All right, bye. That's I've just learned. My husband said this is how you're gonna have to deal with your mom. And of course, my husband doesn't understand because he has such a wonderful mom and he loves his mom and he worships her. And she's not here. But it's very hard when you have toxic mamas, okay? So you've heard about Joni Lamb. I did the video this morning. Be sure to check it. And Joni Lamb is an example of a toxic Christian mom. Always talking about Jesus. Jesus did this. Jesus did that. But you are not on the mends with your child. We don't want to hear nothing about Jesus when you.
And of course, much of the discussion right now is revolving around the fact that Johnathan, who was estranged from his mother, wasn't given the opportunity to say goodbye. I reached out to Johnathan's wife, Susie, Thursday afternoon, and she said Johnathan was in shock. She said nobody called him until the social media post on Thursday afternoon. And we know that it wasn't a family member who called him. It was Tom Callender, a longtime board member at Daystar TV. If you followed this story, you know that Tom Callender was the one who tried to strong-arm Johnathan into signing an NDA 3 years ago. Johnathan wasn't falling into line with affirming his mother's marriage to Doug Weiss. Johnathan, as you know, is a man of conviction, and he wasn't going to bless a man divorcing his wife of 30-some years to marry his mother. But the board wanted to make sure that Johnathan was muzzled, and thank God he wasn't. Johnathan stood up to them, and that's why Joni eventually fired Johnathan. But it's just so incredibly sad that Tom Callender, the man who did this evil thing 3 years ago, was the person who broke the news to Johnathan. My heart breaks for Johnathan and Susie. He has 2 sisters, yet neither one of them called. Instead, it was Tom Callender. We're also hearing today that Tom communicated that it was Joni's wish that Johnathan not be contacted. That is just breathtaking. I can't even.
Did you hear what she said? Joni's wish
Imagine. And I think that's what's been
is
so
that her son would not be called, and she's on her deathbed.
unfathomable about this whole Daystar and Lamb family saga from the very beginning. First, that when Johnathan and Susie believed that a family member had essayed their daughter, Joni's first impulse was to protect
Daystar. Protect Daystar. Toxic Christian mothers. Toxic. So you're on your deathbed, Joni Lamb, and you're dying. This is it. See the video I did this morning, and my heart was just so broken and sad. But she's on her deathbed. And she did, according to her, Joni didn't want Johnathan Lamb to be called to the hospital, and he has said he did not know that his mom was as thick as she was.
The mother-child relationship is one of warmth, nurturing, patience, and love, or so it should be. Unfortunately, not everyone experiences support from their mother. And if you've been raised by a toxic parent, you know how hurtful and confusing it can be. Whether you've suffered physical abuse or the unseen effects of manipulative, self-centered behavior, you know that this pain runs deep. And a toxic mother can be defined by someone who consistently displays toxic behavior and refuses to change. And the truth is, if anyone else in your life treated you this way, you would likely run for the hills. But something keeps you coming back. Whether you keep coming back out of hope, obligation, or a desire to be more Christ-like.
Hope and obligation. That's for me. That was me. That was me. Hope and obligation. And now I'm at obligation. I'm obligated to honor my mother by taking care of her. So I take care of her. Anytime she calls me, she's in need. Okay, mommy. Huh? Okay, mommy. I'll send Mike to Western Union or wherever. Okay.
If you don't understand what it truly means to honor thy mother, you could be setting yourself up for more hurt than God had ever intended you to endure.
Okay, and so I just wanted to play that little part because honor a mother doesn't mean listen to them, having them in your house and all this stuff. Honoring is taking care of them. So I take care of my mom. Okay? I take care of her. Whatever she needs. Whatever, how much, whatever. Okay, mommy, there were times that I sent my mother my last. Now, of course I have a husband, so I don't have to worry about that. Okay. All right. So let's go to TikTok and listen to what of the cousins are saying. I don't think these are Christian mamas, but you know, they toxic, child. These mamas are toxic. Of course, not all of them. Some have great moms. I know some of my friends. Oh, they have wonderful.
Tomorrow is Mother's Day, and this can be a tough time for people that don't have a good relationship with their moms. And if your mom is giving you the cold shoulder and she is telling you, don't get me a gift, don't buy me anything, honor that. And when she complains and gets mad at you for not getting her anything, you can just say, well, that's what you told me. Did you not tell me that? Because this is a manipulation tactic. This is what they do. Is like they'll try to paint themselves as like the martyr and be like, I don't need anything, nobody cares about me. But in reality, like nobody wants to be around them because they're just always so toxic.
Right.
Like low key, they know that you don't want to get them a gift because of their actions. Like the way they're treating you, who would want to give somebody a gift like that? I'm not giving my mom a gift this year because of her actions, because if I gave her a gift, I'm enabling that behavior. I'm saying, you can treat me like shit all you want, and I will still give you a gift. And I don't think that's good. So I'm just not giving a gift this year. Don't buy a gift. Don't give them anything, because honestly, they don't deserve it. Tomorrow is...
I don't buy my mom nothing for Mother's Day. First of all, they do it in Jamaica. They don't celebrate Mother's Day, even though she messaged me Happy Mother's Day. But anyways, like I say, I take care of her. I send her money. Okay. So, or if you have a toxic mother, are you buying her a gift? You getting your toxic mama a gift? Let's see what others have to say.
Mother's Day hit different when you're no contact with your mom. Let's talk about it. If somebody would have told me years ago that I would be no contact with my mom and my entire family, I would have laughed in their face. I probably would have cussed them out. Because what do you mean by that? Why would I ever not talk to my mother and my family? Like, that's my mama. But life has a way of turning things that you thought would never happen into your very reality. No matter what my mom did, no matter how bad she treated me, no matter how many times she dropped the ball, and it was a lot, I still loved her. And I still wanted her in my life. And then I went to therapy, and then I really began to heal. And I started seeing things for what they were. I feel like for a lot of my life, I was in a fog. And then one day the smoke just cleared and everything was crystal clear after that. And I mean clear. Grieving my mom is weird. It's complex. And there is no manual to this shit. Some days she's out of sight, out of mind. I have so much going on in my life that it usually filters a lot of her and that out. But there are days, especially around my period, when things start to hit me. And I want to say that it hits me, but it doesn't hit me the same way it did when it first started happening. When I see mothers loving on their daughters, I get sad. When I see women having babies and loving their babies, it makes me really emotional and it makes me sad. And certain movies and TV shows. You know, I allow myself to cry. I allow myself to kind of feel, and I don't try to pin that up, you know, especially as a Black woman, because, girl, the autoimmune, I don't got time for that. When you hold all the emotions in your body, the body remembers. It stores it, and that manifests into a whole bunch of problems that you do not want. So I allow myself to feel my feelings, as uncomfortable as they may be. But yeah, I'd be like, damn, I'm really no contact with my mama. I feel like I'm not just grieving the mother that I had. I'm also grieving the idea of the mother I wish I did have. And honestly, I think I've been grieving my mom my whole life, even before me going no contact with her. I know that she cannot wrap her mind around why I could just leave her and never deal with her again. But she don't understand all of the times that I extended myself for her to extend.
That's deep. That's deep, yo. That's really deep.
Me going no contact with her. I know that she cannot wrap her mind around why I could just leave her and never deal with her again. But she don't understand all of the times that I extended myself for her to extend herself back to me, and she didn't. When I needed her so I could feel safe and to be there for me emotionally and to listen to me. She couldn't do it. Anytime I needed her to comfort me or to give me a hug, she couldn't do it. You know? And I think she would try, but there was just like a wall there.
A block.
Every time that I wanted to have understanding, she reminded me that she was the mother, I was the child, and that was just that. A true baby boomer. The peace I have now, I deserve this peace. And even with me knowing that I made the right decision, I am always going to be a girl in this world without her mommy. And don't get it twisted. I can always pick up the phone, call my mama, go over there. But I know what I'm walking into.
Right.
Regardless of her smiling and faking it, I know her patterns, I know her behavior, and I know what's to come.
Right.
And I just can't deal with that. I can't. But yeah, to the girls in the world that went no contact with their mothers, for whatever the reason may be, you got this, Spooky. We got this. Others.
That I think she just summed it up so well. And maybe this is something we could talk about for in another video. And I learned this from Joyce Myers because I had to learn that forgiveness is not always reconciliation. You know what I mean? I had to, and I'm so glad I learned that. I'm so glad I learned that. That forgiveness doesn't always mean reconciliation. Like I've forgiven you. However, it doesn't mean we're friends. Like I told my mom, we're not friends. Like that girl said, I know she don't believe. Yeah, because for years I begged and pleaded, and then I finally got to the place I'm like, whatever you need, I'm your girl, but we're not friends. Okay. This is a good one and a good point. I never thought about this.
A PSA, Mother's Day is coming up, and I just got 2 things to say about that. The first thing is, please, for the love of God, don't be going around telling every woman Happy Mother's Day, okay? Because some of these women don't deserve no Happy Mother's Day. I know my mother does not deserve no Happy Mother's Day, okay? Not because a woman can have a child makes her a mother. A mother is somebody that puts in the work after they have their child. Anybody can any woman can have a baby, but it's the love that you give, the time that you give, all that stuff is what makes you a mom, okay? How you treat that child, how you talk about that child to others, like all those things is what makes you a mother. So if you just go around telling people Happy Mother's Day,
she's so right about that. I never thought about that. You see a mom who has a child, say Happy Mother's Day, but you don't really know, are they a good mother or not? So is it just because
random woman Happy Mother's Day? No, you know what you ask them? You say, okay, when's the last time you heard from your child? And I bet you they can't tell you. The ones that can't tell you or whatever are the ones that you pass by. You do not tell them no Happy Mother's Day. Why am I yelling? But I'm really aggravated because I hate, okay, to see when these women be thank you so much or whatever, when they don't talk to their kids, they're not involved in their grandchildren's lives, okay, and they're just pretending on the internet or whatever, and here you are telling them Happy Mother's Day and they're taking all the compliments and they're not about you know what. You understand? Another thing is if you come across somebody and they're like, oh, they don't really talk to their parents, they don't talk to their mom, whatever, dad, whatever, please don't say you only have one mother or you only have one father. It goes both ways. And let me tell you something. Half the time he wants to not.
I meant to pause and oh, you only have one mother. Okay. Or like my cousin called me and said, how come you didn't call your father, my bio dad, for Father's Day? Happy Father for what? Oh, you didn't call me on Father's Day. When we gonna talk about you disowning me when I was 16? When we gonna talk about that? Oh, that's still bother you? You still a talk about that? Yes, I am. Do you need something? You need me to send you some money? Because that's only the conversation we have is, do you need some money? Daddy, you need some money? Okay, go to Western Union. I'll send it.
Like us, for like adult children, because nobody wants to not talk to their parents. It's not normal, okay? It's like the hardest thing to do. And first of all, it's almost like you're grieving somebody that's like, didn't pass away. So you know how hard that is? It's like you're choosing yourself. And these people, your parents, have like raised you to not choose yourself, right? So it's like you choosing yourself is you not talking to them because you don't want to be around that toxicity, right? So it's so hard to do that. So when you come to me and be like, oh, you only got one mother, you only got one father, I know that. You go tell them that, please and thank you, because I'm the prize too. Okay, I'm a lot, and they shouldn't want to have me not in their lives. How about that? You understand? So stop. Please, it's insulting, it's hurtful, okay? Because you do not know the journey that it is to actually get up one day and decide not to talk to your parents. Like, you literally need your parents for survival, okay? Like, that's how the Lord made us. Like, we needed to want our parents, love our parents. Our parents needed to know that we love them and wanted them for them to take care of us. That's how it worked. And unfortunately, that doesn't go away. Even when you're older, you still want to hear, good job, honey. We're so proud of you. Oh, you bought a new house. That's so great. Oh, my grandkids are doing that. That's so awesome. Wow, you got that new promotion at work. Somehow we.
Okay, you can finish it. Her video's a little long. Okay, y'all. So there you go. Just a few of the toxic mom. Again, Joyce Myers freed me because one of the things I was holding on was reconciliation with my mom. And when she said forgiveness does not always mean reconciliation, it freed me. Have a pure heart. I was thinking of the scriptures last night when I listened to Joni Lamb. A pure heart, a clean heart. I have nothing against my mom. And I have the Western Union receipts to prove it. Because if my heart was not in the right place, I wouldn't have done all that I've done over the years. I was telling my husband last week, I said, do you know I could have been retired by now if I didn't have to spend all that money on. He said, yeah, Bailey, but we don't think like that. We don't talk like that because that's what you do. That's what you have to do. So I say you're right. Yeah. I want to hear a toxic mama story. Comment it below. Tell us about Beatrice and Beatrice. All the old lady names I know, they're still alive. I was gonna say Margaret, but that's my coworker and my very good girlfriend. I was gonna say Edna, but that's my spiritual mom. Agnes. Oh, Agnes is good. Okay, tell us about Beatrice and Agnes and Barbara Lynn. Barbara Lynn is my coworker. Her name is Barbara Lynn. So I was like, Barbara, which Barbara are you? Barbara Lynn, Barbara May? May, okay, May. That was my Sunday school teacher years and years and years and years ago. Sister May went to glory when she was like 96 or something. So tell me about your toxic mom stories and grieve. That's something the Holy Spirit told me that I needed to grieve my relationship with my mom. And that freed me. That freed me to get to the place where I'm at, where I'm like, okay, whatever. How much money you need? That's what you need. We're not, there's no, I never will just pick up the phone. Hey, what's up? It's only, hey, how are you? How's the boys? Because I have 3 brothers, which are in my age group, and 3 nephews. Hey, how are you? How are the boys? That's every time I message my mom just to check in. It's, hey, how are you? How's things going? How's the boys? Okay. September's coming. I already know August I have to send the money from my nephew. He goes to a special needs school. I already know. I got August. I'm sending Mike to Western Union. Go send that money for my mom to go pay for my nephew to go to private school. Okay, he goes to a private special needs school. So if you have unforgiveness in your heart towards your mom or anyone, you need to go to God about it. Okay, we don't want to be like Joni on her deathbed who was unrepentant. No. Forgive your mom for what she has done. You do not have to be friends. You don't have to be best friends, but do be respectful and honor them. If they need anything, help to take care of them and supply their need. Okay. I love you. I love you. I love you. Let me know what you think. I love you guys. I love you. Happy Mother's Day to you all. It's my anniversary weekend. Tomorrow's my 30th. I love you guys. Talk to you later. Thanks for showing me love on my books. Mother's Day sale is still on. Yes. So I'm going to be taking them off of sale tomorrow. So if you didn't pick up your Mother's Day sale on my book set, go ahead over to Amazon and pick them up. Love you. Talk to you later. Bye.